now want to bring in Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto. Art, it's always a pleasure to have you. Immigration as a whole right now. Familiar sources telling NewsNation this week that the president has not been happy with the number of deportations he's seen. We even had border czar Tom Homan, who said he wasn't happy with the arrest this week. Is that also a sentiment that the National Border Patrol Council shares as well?
Well, look, I mean, I know it's a tough job, and, the ICE agents are out there doing the best they can. They have good leadership when it comes to Tom Homan. But at the same time, when you start pointing the finger at some of these, areas where they're not being so friendly to law enforcement, you got to look at some of these states, some of these mayors that have said, they're not going to comply. They're not really going to help. And at the same time, the leaks that happened, those are very concerning, because that puts the agents' lives at risk when they're doing this targeted enforcement. It puts, the community at risk. It even puts the individuals that they're going after at risk, because you don't know to what, end they're not going to want to be apprehended. So, I mean, it's a concern overall. But we definitely need to start looking at the inside of the actual agencies and see, hey, who's actually doing something about it, who's not, or who's just going along to get along. And I'll make a prediction. I don't think it's going to stop at ICE. I think it's going to go through other agencies as well.
Yeah. You bring up some of the places that aren't complying. I'm thinking of sanctuary cities right now. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi issuing a warning to any state that's refusing to aid in the president's mass deportation plan. Take another listen to what she had to say.
And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois. Strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready.
Yeah, so Art, she's not mincing words there. What does that kind of opposition look like on the ground right now in sanctuary cities when ICE and feds come in, local agencies aren't playing ball with them? I mean, how are they even making arrests?
Well, there's also some states and there's cities that have brushed it off and said, well, we never said we're a sanctuary city. And I'll just use Tucson as an example, which is where I'm at. They've never said it was a sanctuary city, but they certainly aren't doing, or pushing any efforts to try to assist law enforcement and say, hey, we have groups in certain areas that maybe need to be looked at. So that's also, going to be a big obstacle. And that's why I like that she said, look, if you're not complying, she didn't use the word sanctuary city, which is fantastic. And it shows that she understands that there's some cities and states that haven't necessarily said they're sanctuary cities, but they sure aren't complying as well.
A good thing to point out there. Alicia mentioned this in her live report from New York just a minute ago, but two of the top ICE officials overseeing deportations, they were demoted, they were reassigned this week amid all this, fear and kind of frustration that immigration numbers aren't what the White House is wanting them to be. Is there anxiety kind of across the board in border positions that jobs are on the chopping block here if you don't perform to the president's standards?
I think it's maybe to the upper level managers. It could lead to, some kind of frustration on that. And I don't think it's because they're not performing to President Trump standards. I think there's issues of individuals that have been in these career positions for so long, and maybe they haven't, performed to the American people standards or what they need to be doing out there. Certainly, you have to point the finger to the last administration. They allowed so many of these individuals to come into the country illegally, but maybe there should have been a better way to track them when they were leaving addresses and saying where they were going to be at the same time.
Art Del Cueto, I have to end it there. We could talk about this for an hour longer, but I have to go, sir. Thank you, as always, for your time and your expertise.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.